Now, Myleene Klass is standing in for Gabby, and the talk is all proposals of the very decent kind, of course.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to your midweek live with Gabby, with me, Myleene Klass. Gabby's left me in charge, brave woman. And as it's a leap year and the 29th of February, women around the UK will scrap tradition and propose to their man. So, we want your proposal stories. Was it better than your wildest dreams, or was it a bit of a damp squib? I mean, on my occasion, my poor husband, he nearly got arrested for pyromania, but there you go, it's a horror story. Even better, though. If you're a woman proposing, we want to know from you. So, you know what? In fact, we could probably help you out. So just give us a shout. Details are coming in just a moment. Here's what's coming up on today's show. Everyone on their best behaviour. Superintendent Jack Meadows is on the beat. Actor Simon Rouse in just a moment. And he's swapping Sunhill for the stage. All this week, we hope that you are reading to celebrate World Book Day. And today, the author of Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging, Louise Renison, talks about her latest novel. And continuing the reading theme, we look at adult literacy. Paul Connolly overcame a horrific childhood and didn't learn to read and write until his late 20s. But last year, he topped the e-book bestsellers chart. Then, today's the day women traditionally propose, turning their frogs into princes. There's a waving frog there, so we hopped onto the streets to find out what makes marriage material. If you're not up to proposing but want to show your beau that he is a beauty, how about a prezi? Alison Cork has lots of ideas for gifts for guys later. So do get in touch today. Remember, we want pics of the Prince Charming in your lives. Email us at gabby@channel5.com, tweet us at Live with Gabby, or find us on Facebook, where you'll find more fun from behind the scenes. Thanks, we're going to need your help later on in the show. Still to come, Paul Connolly, who suffered an appalling childhood and with no reading or writing skills until his late 20s, went on to write a best-selling book. As a leap year as well, guys, we find out, or girls it should be, we find out what charms can turn your frog into a prince. Plus, lots of gift ideas, from cocktails to cars, for the man in your life. And after the break, comedian and author of Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging, Louise Renison. We'll see you after the ads.
Hi, I'm Richard Branson, and I want everyone to say bye-bye to buffering and hello to a super fast broadband.
Right now with Virgin Media, you could enjoy up to 30 meg fibre optic broadband and calls free for the first 3 months. And with broadband that's 4 times faster than the UK average, everyone at home could be online at the same time with fewer interruptions, which means we could all say bye-bye to buffering. So, that's up to 30 meg broadband and unlimited UK weekend calls, free for 3 months and just $18.50 a month after that. Call 0800 183 7000 today.
Virgin Media. Keep up.
Welcome back to Live with Gabby with me, Myleene Klass. Today is the one day every 4 years that women traditionally go down on one knee, so find out later what makes a man worth proposing to. Also, spreading the love, Alison Cork with lots of ideas for gifts to show your guy you love them, or if you're a guy watching, that you love yourself. And there's still time to enter our competition to get a great bit of kit, this brand new scooter worth thousands, plus lessons and all the gear too. To scoop the scooter, there's 5 films and 5 corresponding questions on the Live with Gabby website, along with terms and conditions. So, if you're over 18, simply get online and follow the instructions. OK, as it's the 29th February, women will scrap tradition and propose to their partner. So, we're asking for you and your proposal stories, and a few have come in. Now, there's one here from Paul Yearley, who tweeted in saying, Mark Edwards proposed to his girlfriend Chloe Sargent today after 4 years of going out. She said yes. Well, hey, only thing is, I'm wondering why Paul's writing that in. Hopefully it's not a wind-up. And also, where are the girls? Where are the proposals from the women? Here's another one from Emma. She says, my friend's just got engaged. Her fiancé proposed on a beach with a ring he carved for some driftwood that he found the year before. That is very, very romantic. And an email here from Sophie. She just says, this is my gorgeous lover. We've got a photo here. And best friend Kieran. She hasn't said if she's going to propose. Sophie, get back in touch. We need a woman to propose today. Mind you, I don't know if I'd be so brave. In fact, I know I wouldn't. I'm quite traditional. Now, Paul Connolly's story starts at just 2 weeks old when he was found abandoned in a dustbin. He grew up in care homes and was subjected to a horrific childhood, barely educated, meaning he didn't learn to read or write until his late 20s. Incredibly, Paul has prospered in life, and a huge moment came last year when he topped the Amazon ebook bestseller list with his autobiography. So welcome to the show, Paul.
Thanks,
thank you for being here. I mean, I was reading your book last night, and I was completely blown away. I knew I needed to get up early, but I couldn't put it down. You've just had such a tough old time. How do you even comprehend it all? How do you comprehend that happened to one person, let alone yourself?
I don't think you think of it that way, to be quite honest with you. I think it's your life, it's the hand you've been dealt, and I just think you just get on with it. You know, I think if you overanalyse things, you tend to. I don't know, I don't tend to think of the future much because I think that, you know, you never know what's in the future. You can drive yourself crazy, can't you? So... OK,
well, let's start from the very beginning. So, so what happened? You know, you were two weeks old?
I was 2 weeks old, yeah. I was the last of 8 children, Irish Catholic family. I think my mother had some sort of breakdown. She put me out with the rubbish because, obviously, when you leave care, you get to read your files. You know, so I've read my files since I've left the care system. So you get a lot of information when you leave. And I was taken in by social services and I was looked after in a convent in North London.
They found you in a dustbin?
Yeah, they found me out with the rubbish, apparently, yeah.
Oh, my God.
But I was the 8th child, the 7th boy, and I think... I'm not sure, obviously, the state of mind of my mother at the time, and, you know,
You can just only imagine.
Yeah.
But you ended up in a children's home?
Initially, I was brought up by nuns in Mill Hill, a convent called St Vincent's, from 2 weeks till I was 7. And that was, you know, that was quite a pleasant place. And you had nurses and nuns and, you know, a lot of Irish guys there. And it was quite a pleasant place. The nurse who brought me up tried to adopt me, Mary, but my mother wouldn't allow that for some reason. And so she used to take me for summer holidays and things. But when you get to a certain age, you have to move to the big boys' children's home. And I was moved to St Leonard's in Hornchurch in Essex.
And that's where the nightmare began?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, effectively, the children's home was from superintendent up, or down, sorry, was run by a paedophile ring, effectively. And not everybody in that... I mean, there was 300 children in that children's home. Not everybody was abused, to be fair, but there was a ring in there. My house father got 14 years. But he was the only significant prison sentence. And a lot of them walked away with, you know, not much of a punishment. I mean, it all started when I was in my mid-30s and the police knocked on my door and they said, you know, can we come in? And they explained to me that there'd been an operation called Operation Mapperton, where they were investigating 30 years of abuse at the children's home.
Now, the abuse was physical, sexual...
And mental, yeah.
And crucially mental.
Yeah. I was quite lucky going to that children's home because I was nearly 8 and I was quite established in myself and I'd had good experiences up until that point. So, you know, some of the people I grew up with were a lot younger when they were in there and they were a lot more vulnerable. But
your life completely went off the wrong tracks after that, didn't it? You became very angry, understandably, very violent.
Yeah, I did, yeah. I had a lot of years where I'm very lucky to be here. I did a lot of stupid things in my life. And, yeah, I mean...
You witnessed so much. I mean, there's just one part of the book where, you know, you actually saved a girl from being raped.
Yeah.
Now, for you to do that, and you were just a kid yourself, and she was a child, I mean, that must be petrifying.
I took a severe beating for that as well, yeah, really beaten badly and ended up in hospital for that as well, yeah, because I wouldn't go away while this particular member of staff wanted to rape this young 14-year-old girl and I wouldn't allow it. So effectively, I took the beating instead, the frustration.
It was very, very sad to read that it became your normality as well.
Yeah.
You actually said it was just like butter and margarine, the systematic abuse.
It's not just... People think about sexual abuse, mental abuse and physical beatings, but also no education, no culture, no outlet to express yourself at all. You know?
And this is where the next step comes in. I mean, you never learnt to read, you never learnt to write, so as you had no outlet, it manifested itself in violence. Yeah,
because, I mean, it was a bit of a double-edged sword, really, because I learnt to box as a kid, and boxing was my saviour.
Yeah, you became really good at it, didn't you?
Yeah, I was a good amateur fighter, and it became my saviour because I met good male role models, people I could look up to, people that were, you know, were not trying to do things to me, for want of a better word.
But then that faltered as well because you had an accident, so that stopped your boxing career. So how did you then start to learn to read and write?
Well, the crux of it was that I was working on a roof, and I fell off a roof and I severed my arm almost off and cut my hand in half. And that was the end of my boxing career, effectively, and that was my plan. I was always going to be a professional boxer, and that was the end of it. It was gone. And it was plan B, so I had to go to night school to learn to read and write at 25. And you can imagine how embarrassing that is as a grown man. You know, as a proud grown man, you know, somebody who really... And without sounding cruel, the tutors were quite patronising, and because, you know, they saw he was thick.
That takes a lot of guts, because you've described yourself as not unintelligent, just uneducated, and, you know, that really strikes a chord with, you know, for me, because I've got a friend who can't read or write.
Right.
He's, you know, in his 40s, and I think he's incredible, because how do you get through life without reading and writing, like, especially in the Western world, where everyone's sending emails and texts and, you know, you're reading maps or whatever else?
It's extremely tough. I mean, we're really hard on my kids now. My 7-year-old, he's a brilliant reader. He's in the 9-year-old age for reading, and my wife sits down with him every night and reads with him every night.
Oh, look at them! Look at them boxing. They're adorable.
That's Harley and Archie, my pride and joy.
Oh, I'd say so. They're gorgeous. And there's your lovely wife as well, and your Burke.
Yeah.
So, you know, let's go back. How do you cope? You know, when you're reading menus in a restaurant, say, what do you do?
Well, you don't. I can remember when I was dating, I used to try and be really suave. Obviously, before my wife, I hasten to add, I used to be really suave and go, why don't you choose tonight, darling? You know, and the girls I was going out with didn't know I could read or write, and you were always blagging it, and you were all... I mean,
Did you ever get caught out in any way?
Lots of times, yeah. I was the first personal trainer in the City of London back in 1989. I came back from the States, and I was doing really well, and they asked me to run at the health club, and I said... they wanted me to manage it and everything, and I couldn't read and write. And they had to get me a secretary because I mean, it's embarrassing to explain to somebody. You really... You know, I was always a very physical guy, and you know, and there is a massive difference between intelligence and education, and some people don't have that opportunity, and that closes so many doors, and it's such a shame.
But you did learn to read and write, you persevered, you found the courage to do it, and you wrote a book that has outsold The Help and Girl with a Tattoo.
Dragon Toe, yeah.
I mean, how does that feel?
No, it's amazing. I got a phone call from the publishers, John Blake, over the New Year and at Christmas, and I thought it was one of my mates messing about, and I just said... You can imagine what I said.
You didn't? Oh, no, that's hideous.
He's phoning back, excuse me, old chap, I am your publisher. I'd rather you didn't talk to me like that.
And this book is called Against All Odds?
Against All Odds, yeah, and it's really doing well, amazingly well. I've got a meeting with a production company this afternoon. They're looking at making a TV drama.
So what message would you send out to, you know, somebody out there who maybe can't read or write as well as they'd like to?
I just think it's never too late. People often feel that, you know, they've had their time, they've done their thing, and it's over. It's never too late.
It's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning.
Well, thank you. You are a complete inspiration. Thank you very much, Paul. And best of luck with everything.
Thank you.
Hello to those gorgeous boys. Now, after the break, Simon Rouse and Louise Renison return along with Alison Cork with lots of great gift ideas for guys. And we ask the public if it's a funny frog, a money frog, or a fit frog that they'd make their Prince Charming. Fit frog. Bonkers Part 4 after the ads. Thank you to all of my guests today. Gabby's back tomorrow with Robbie Savage, fresh from the Strictly Tour #1 Ladies Detective Agency author Alexander McCall-Smith. We find out why it's so important to get your kids reading. Tracy Beaker star Danny Harmer tells us about her anti-bullying campaign, and Davina McCall is here as well. We'll see you tomorrow live at 10 past 11.